We'll move to our next speaker, Ms. Giwa Onaiwu. You're the proud mother of 6 biological and adoptive children, and you describe your family as proud, multicultural, multinational, neurodiverse, and HIV-affected family of color. So how are the girls and women in your family and in your community experiencing their neurodiversity?
Greetings, everyone. It's a very interesting question that I toiled over a bit when I reviewed it. As someone who did not receive my own autism diagnosis until my 30s, there was a lot of there was lack of visibility, which has been mentioned earlier. There is a lot to share, and the time that I have allotted to me is insufficient to be able to address it. But I guess the most frank answer that I could provide is it depends on the day of the week. It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the setting, how we're experiencing our neurodiversity. Personally, as an individual who occupies a lot of roles, I'm a college professor, I'm a mother, I'm an autistic adult, I'm a woman of color, I am a published author, I am an international speaker, an advocate. I wear a lot of hats, so to speak. These are all important, and in my family, the diagnoses that we have, which range from autism to HIV to PTSD to intellectual disability, we mirror society in that we hail from both resource-enhanced and resource-limited settings, and we try to live openly, authentically, and unapologetically as individuals with disabilities who are proud of who we are, of our background. However, that's only one part of the scenario. When you look at the fact that we do live in a society, and you can have all of the self-acceptance that you can possess, you don't control the systematic factors that impact your lives. Audre Lorde stated once that there is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not lead single-issue lives. And the topic of intersectionality, when you're looking at racism, ableism, when you're looking at misogyny, and all of these different factors, when you think about the term which was coined by Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, intersectionality in general, it's talking about multiple different forms of oppression. It's not just talking about identities. And so when you are an individual who has multiple marginalizations, such as a woman, girl, or a non-binary individual who is autistic, you are already coming into society already marked, essentially. And then there are these other factors that are layered onto that are going to impact your life, and none of them are going to give you a break, essentially. There is a saying in the Black community, you have to work twice as hard to get half. And if you are autistic, and particularly an autistic woman or girl, you might have to work 4 times as hard to get a fourth of what others have. And so when you're thinking about scenarios such as the fact that disabled women in general, according to some statistics, are more than 40% likely to be to experience trauma or abuse, namely intimate partner violence. When you look at the rates of employment among autistic adults, and you look at the lack of resources for autistic adults, you find that women and girls may find themselves in a scenario where they have to deal with toxic relationships, where they have to deal with discrimination, where they have to decide what they're going to stomach just to survive. From wage discrimination to the school to prison pipeline, to the misogyny that is very prevalent in society, to all types of factors, all of these things that impact any person of color, any woman of color, is going to be even more exponentially pronounced if you are a woman and girl who is autistic, such as myself and my daughter. And so essentially, one thing that I'd like to say is that we know the statistics. We've all heard them multiple times, that African Americans are diagnosed often 1.5 to 2 years later than their white counterparts. Both, if you're looking at African American and Latino children, there's between 30 to 50% less likelihood of them being diagnosed effectively. And when you look at the fact that women are often, as mentioned earlier, underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed, you have a perfect storm for catastrophe. And so I would like to say that at this moment, as an autistic woman of color, I'm experiencing my neurodiversity by sharing my life, my stories, and my perspective. But in 5 minutes from now, or an hour from now, I can't tell you how myself or people from my community are going to be experiencing it. I can't tell you how at a police stop, do I need to be more fearful of the fact that I'm Black? Do I need to be more fearful of the fact that I'm female? Do I need to be more fearful of the fact that maybe I will not follow directions because of auditory processing delays, or that my body movements, if I'm flapping, might frighten the individual into thinking I'm assaulting them? There are so many things that go through one's head, and so many unspoken and unwritten rules that are imposed upon women and autistic girls and non-binary individuals already. So essentially, the first thing that we need is for you to perceive us, to see us. We are here, right among you. We have always been here. First, see us, recognize us. Secondly, listen to us, let us speak. And thirdly, let's begin to dismantle a lot of the policies that exist in society already that are making it difficult for individuals with multiple marginalizations, period. Because if others can thrive, we can thrive as well if given the proper supports and resources that we need, and if we are able to lead our cause. Thank you.